You guys know I love to read, and I sometimes share in some episodes what I'm currently reading. Every now and then, I challenge myself to read something outside of my usual genre, and that book for me now is House of Rain by Harley LaRue. It's a gothic romance novel that follows Salem, who ends up stranded on a remote island instead of going on her honeymoon. There she meets the mysterious Rain, whose family manor is filled with unsettling secrets. Then people start dying, something begins stalking the forest at night, and what starts as a forbidding attraction turns into a fight for survival. With the isolated island, gothic mansions, and the creeping sense that something terrible is always just out of sight, I was intrigued and creeped out. If you're a fan of supernatural suspense and dark romance with an unforgettable atmosphere, check out House of Rain by Harley LaRue, now available wherever books are sold in print and in ebook. This episode is brought to you by Vinted. Have you looked inside your closet lately? Because I did last weekend. I was trying to reorganize for the upcoming season, and I found this entire section of clothes that I keep saying I'll wear, but honestly, I never do and probably never will. My closet was totally cluttered, and I did not like that. This is where Vinted comes in. Vinted is a secondhand marketplace app that makes it easy for everyday sellers, people like you and me, to sell pre-loved fashion and earn some extra money. For me, the clutter was just overwhelming, but Vinted makes it so easy. The process on the Vinted app is incredibly straightforward, and decluttering just feels so much better. With Vinted, there are absolutely no selling fees. Because there are no selling fees, you actually get to keep 100% of the money you earn from your sales. See what's hiding in your closet. You might be surprised how much you can earn with Vinted. Download the Vinted app for free to start listing with no seller fees. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tain Talks. I am here to talk about Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episode 18. I am Tain, and my guest happens to be from Season 18. So 18 is our lucky number today, and it's Michelle. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
I am glad to have you. I like when I have alums here because you guys have insights, you guys have been through it, and this season is crazy and this season is different. So it'll be interesting to see what your takes and your thoughts are. I saw some of them online, but before we get into it, Michelle, I have a bone to pick with you, and I want everyone to hear it. Your Instagram stories are not good for my wallet, okay? For those of you who don't know, Michelle is always posting looks, and I know a lot of people do that, but her looks are actually cute, and I'm too busy and I'm lazy. So I just click on it and I'm like, oh, cute, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm exposing myself, but
Oh my
Michelle
god.
is not good for my wallet, okay?
Oh my god. Well, it sounds good for me. So thank you so much. I support the engagement. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. But yeah, guys, if you're looking for stuff, everything, she has it on there and it's linked over there. Okay. Let me ask you, because this is your first time this season coming on the pod. Overall, the quick summary, what are your thoughts on this season? And would you want to be in this era of MAFS?
Ooh. Okay. I like the new format. I like that it's on
Okay.
TikTok. I'm like a little bit jealous because I feel like they've got like a bigger budget and
They
that's like
do.
that makes me jealous.
They do.
Um, I like the experts a lot better too, but I don't think and I feel like they're getting a lot more publicity, which is really cool for the show. So I like that, but I don't necessarily know if I want to be married at first sight ever again. So that could make me jealous, but
Yeah.
everything else I think I like it. I like it a lot so far.
But how do you think you would have fared knowing how the beginning of your relationship was and you had to be in a firing squad every week with the experts and your the other couples also like coming at you the way they are this season.
Well, I think for me personally, I wouldn't have made it very long on the show. Now that I know that they let them go home, I feel like I would have gone home pretty quickly.
Okay. Well, yeah. So
But
yeah,
then
I think
it
that's
would
oh
have
go
been
ahead.
like all the drama, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. It's like again, I said this in the previous episode. A listener told me like I just have to shift how I'm watching it and it's for drama, it's for entertainment and you know.
Yeah.
Good for them, I
We're
guess.
entertained. We are entertained.
It is entertaining. I will give them that. Okay. So we are still at the couples retreat, guys. The couples retreat is never ending. So they're still there. And it's the final morning, but Cam, who's already on thin ice with me, starts the episode by saying like he considered coming in and blasting shitty fucking 2010s rap music. So we know he doesn't have good taste, okay? I like fucking 2010s rap music, guys. So
Okay.
uh, we get a flashback security cam of the cast, and they're having a blast. Like they're dancing, they're backing it up with each other, even Caitlin and Devin. I don't know what happened, but everyone's having fun, and I liked seeing that. We're seeing all the fights, we're seeing all that, but it was good to see that in between all of that, there were good times. You know, I know couples retreat was not the same for you, but
Yeah, I feel like couples retreat is so interesting because it just incites drama no matter what. Like, I don't think there's a single couples retreat that's, like, unfazed, so, yeah.
yeah,
Get that
I
many people together in one house and drinking, like, something and it's also, like, decision day is always looming so
yeah.
soon after it, so it's just bound to happen.
Yeah. For you guys, I mean, I know there was alcohol. I remember that, but was it like limited or were you guys allowed to just drink like
Yeah, I
as
think
much
we
as
were
you wanted?
allowed to do whatever we wanted. There wasn't, like, a limit on
Okay.
eating.
Okay. Gosh, the games, alcohol, tensions, decision day, that's a
Well,
lot.
and, like, the games too are so funny because, like, obviously, like, those
Yeah.
questions are planted in the bowl, like, it's not,
Yes.
like, they want that, the producers want that out of you, so it's so funny, like, I remember, like, they're like, "Oh, like, everyone can write down a couple questions," like, when I was doing it,
Mm-hmm.
in the bowl, and I'm like, "No, those were all questions none of us wrote down."
But yeah, I mean, it works for them. The producers really earn their paycheck, every time they do this. Don't ask me what Adam was doing on the floor, but it was hilarious. Like when they were dancing, I think he was on all fours down on the floor, just backing it up against Marissa. So again, we're back to the morning, and Mecca and Belle come into the kitchen, and the vibe just changes. It just becomes womp womp. And Cam is like, is everyone okay? Awkward silence, and Devin says, "Yeah, me and Kate were calling it. That's it. We're not staying together." I'm like, okay. Way to rip the band-aid, but Nikki's not there. I'm like, where's Nikki? Like everyone's not there to hear this news. Mecca asks, "Why are you breaking up?" And he's like, "We don't see eye to eye. We have bad communication. We have a power struggle. We are toxic and it's emotionally draining." And I want to ask you, like, just in general, what are your thoughts on Caitlyn and Devin's relationship?
I mean, I don't think she ever liked him. I think she was trying really hard to get there, but I also think she kind of kept moving the goalpost for him to get there. And I just don't think it was never going to happen. Like, even like, like when she was like, I was giving him all these signs, like, be physical with me. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you weren't. Like, scratching his back isn't like, let's go for it. I like agreed with him in that sense.
Yeah.
But I also think like she was kind of trying to do that, but really like it was never going to happen. Like, I think in the back of her mind, like she was like, oh, now he's showering. He doesn't want to be physical with me. Like, it kind of just felt like she was looking for her way out a little bit.
Yes, I agree with you because I was like, I would never have known that that was a sign because then that would mean you were giving Mecca the sign when he was putting the chain on you. And I think that if we hadn't seen her reaction to Mecca in different occasions where her eyes shined bright, she was a completely different person, then we wouldn't have anything to compare it to. And I'm like, okay. And the cameras were there,
Right. It's
you know?
also funny because we don't see them really interact with each other. I feel like this was the retreat was the first time you see each because it's always
Yeah.
been like group dinners or group therapy, but
Yeah.
it's never been like where like Mecca and Caitlin have a conversation. We've never
Mhm.
seen that interaction between the couple. So that was like really interesting to me to see how everyone interacted with each other. Even like there's no like boys' nights or girls' nights. So
Yeah.
we didn't get a lot of that this season of kind of like what they're thinking.
Yes, and individual relationships because there's a lot of group hangouts
Yeah.
going on. So Caitlin was like, she's just tired. All they do is bicker. And I thought the guys just had a conversation about being considerate about when they make their jokes and the partners. But then Cameron is like, well, I heard there were rumors that you wanted to couple swap last night. He says that's to Mecca. And I'm like, Belgialee's right there. What are we doing? I know we're instigating, but let's. She's been through enough.
Is Cam the producer's plant? Like, he's always just, like, stirring the pot, but because
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?" And I didn't think he talked a lot in the first half, and now all of a sudden he's just always poking.
It's his alter ego. Coach Cam comes alive with the couples at the group dinners. He comes alive. Well, I think he's like, well, we're the golden couple, so we can say whatever we like. So
Yeah, I think he definitely feels entitled a little bit because his relationship is working out, and I don't think it's a good look for him, and I do think he's, like, a genuine nice guy, but it does not
yeah,
come off at all.
yes, I agree. Between him and Adam, I think they were both the instigators. This couple's
Yes.
retreat. So Belle put her head in her hands, basically like, not this shit again. Like, are we gonna go through this again? Mecca says that's crazy, and Cam was like, well, if you didn't want to swap, why did I hear you yapping about it? And in a confessional, Mecca says Caitlyn is a really good friend. He said two reallys, and the producer asked him a question like, what's going on between Caitlyn or something to that effect. And he's like, I had a great time, but it seems like I had a great time at the expense of other people. And I'm like, I can't.
But I also like, but it was I think he meant that, like, he had the at the expense of Devin. Like, I don't even know if he was, like, thinking about Bella. It's kinda how I took it, sadly, because I just feel like she's always, like, an afterthought to him, and it, like,
Yeah,
makes me sick. But I feel like he only said that because he thought,
Devin.
like, Devin was mad at him.
Yeah, that's true. And he's always thinking, who's mad at me? And then that was it. We didn't get anything else. And I'm just confused because the whole group is there in the kitchen, right? Besides Nikki. And we don't get a peep from who I call Saint Michelle or Saint Cameron because they think they're so great on Caitlyn and Mecca's behavior. I'm like, we're calling everybody out. Why are we not calling this out? Like, it's the fact that no one has said anything, including Belle Jolie, about that weird debrief and flirting or whatever it is. And we'll get there when Devin comes to say bye and Mecca's like, oh, I feel like I'm responsible for it. Belle is in the room, guys. And Devin was like, he called Mecca out. He overstepped. They had a conversation. Why did we not see it?
Right, I was thinking that too. It had to be somewhere where there wasn't you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it was, like, when mics went off, and they're like I remember at the couples retreat, we only had a couple GoPros in, like, the main area, so maybe that happened
Mhm.
in, like, a bedroom that we didn't see, and
See?
because the crew was probably gone at that point, but I thought,
Mhm.
like, that was important, like, I wanted to know how he approached that, like,
Yeah.
what he said, you know what I mean? Because he's like he basically said that Mecca admitted to overstepping is what I took it as.
And I'm like, and I wanted to hear from him, like, what did he consider overstepping? Because some people are like, he just put a chain. I just thought it was way too much because what were they doing? Like a promise thing with the fingers? They were kissing fingers and stuff.
It was Belle on the couch laying down.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I was like,
Yes.
"Her?" Yeah, okay.
And
Why?
I want her point of view. Like if Devin felt that he overstepped, what was her point of view? Like, even if she said, I mean, I know Devin is upset. I mean, I understand Mecca. I know how he is. I wanted to hear her say it,
Yeah.
and
She
we didn't get that.
way too much grace, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Way too
She
much.
does. She does. But yeah, but nobody else called it out. In fact, Marissa is just going to Caitlyn like, "Oh, I can't believe you guys are calling it," but no one says anything about anything. Devin says, "No, you're not the cause of it, but it was the straw that broke the camel's back. So basically, you are the cause of it." But he says, like, they have their own problems. They've always had it, and Devin says he knows he put in effort, and knowing that he failed stings, but he knows he tried. He says he thinks she's amazing, but she has to let him in a bit, and she didn't. He was very ready, and instead he got someone who was one toe in, and at the end of the day, he can't be delusional. And I guess I'm curious, Michelle, do you feel any kind of empathy towards Caitlyn,
Yeah.
knowing that, yeah.
Yeah, I do, just because, like, I know how it feels to not like the person you are with, and you kind of feel like you have to keep going and put your best foot forward and keep trying, even though the back of your mind, you know it's not working. So I, like, understand that, but I side with Devin a little bit more in the situation
Hmm.
just because like, she talked a lot, like, "He is attractive, he is everything I want, like, he shows up for me," like, like, she was saying that she was interested, so, like, when she was like, "I think we just have to hook up or break up," I'm like, "Yes, hook up, just, like, give it a whirl, my god," you know? Just, like, "Get it let's go," like, but it's also, like, if you haven't felt physically wanting to, like, be physical in the past
Yeah,
3, 4 weeks, like, it's a no, you know?
yeah, it is. But can we agree, or do you agree that slow burn is really just an excuse for I'm not attracted to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm like, because I know all season long, like a bunch of us are saying, like, oh, don't sign up for the show, don't do this. But I'm just like, I think if you were attracted to him, this wouldn't even be a thing. And I know that people like to think that they can control the attraction, but I always feel like there's a reason why you signed up for a show like this. You have something in you that made you sign up. And if you're attracted, you're not even gonna think about it. You're
But
just
then,
gonna
like,
do it.
people always like, "Well, Jamie and Doug, Jamie and Doug." So, but yeah, or even, like, Sean and Nikki, like, we don't know what their physical encounter was, but it
Just
sounded like something. So
we we ended up at 69. I just
yeah,
I don't, she said they had sexual compatibility. They had to have done something, and I just, sorry guys to be crass, like I said, I just thought his tongue is working. I don't know because what
good for them.
because what else? How else would she know they're compatible? And the thing with Jamie and Doug, like I said, I want somebody else to have that story. They're the only example. But by the honeymoon, she was warming up to him. By the honeymoon, she already kissed him by then, and she just said, I think she didn't want to have sex on camera or something to that effect, but she was warming up to him. So Caitlin's is a tad too much in hers.
It was too long of a time. She wasn't
Yeah.
coming around.
Yeah, at all. At this point, Caitlin is crying, saying that the experience pushed her in a lot of positive ways, and it's the most vulnerable that she's ever been her entire life. She says she feels misunderstood because she is misunderstood, and he probably feels that way too. I do appreciate that about Caitlin because she's not like Felipe, who's just like doubling down and placing blame on everyone else. She'll say it and then also admit, he probably feels that way too, you
Yeah.
know?
I think she's self-aware, like, what she for the most part, like, what she's wrong, you know what I mean? Like, she's been wrong, and, like, she admits that, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. She said she would have loved for it to have worked out and all the nice things he did for her, she has never had. And that's hard to walk away from, too. And for me, this just encapsulates their relationship to me. I'm confused. I just, I feel safe. I don't feel safe. I have desire. I don't want him to touch me. There's a pillow for it. I could never quite figure them out.
Yeah. I also, like, wanted to see them fighting, you know what I mean? Because it's even like she was like, "I was so combative with him the night before," but I kinda thought he was, like, a little bit aggressive with her on the couch, he was, like,
Yeah.
and kind of not in
In
her
her
face,
face.
like, real
No, he
close to
was.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even Belle was, like, kinda like, "Hey, like, come back." So I was like, and that's, like, a side we've never seen of
Yeah.
Devin, like, you know what I mean? He always seems, like, very, like, calm, so that was interesting.
Yeah, he does. Up until, remember Courtney's birthday when she didn't want to talk about it and he was in her face, like, look at me, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So,
He was really, he does not like to be disrespected, and he made that very clear, and I was like, "Ooh, that's I don't like that."
yes, that is his where he draws the line. He was like, everything else I'm fine with, but you are disrespecting me and that's a deal breaker. So, we'll see at the reunion if we even talk about that. But yes. I will say though, with Peacock Money, we have good music. It was Little Big Worlds playing Say Something in the background, the most apt song you could ever play for this moment.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous of the good music, like, our music we had horrible, like, horrible music.
Yeah, the AI music that lets you know what's going on. They
Right.
suck. They're angry. They just
He's
jumped on the bed. Um, so we see Caitlin leaving, and I guess we are getting no conversation between her and Belle because honestly, I was really just hoping for that. We noticed that Belle leaves with Nikki. I did not realize Mecca was in the back seat. I was like, oh,
Same. I'm like, "Where's Mecca?" And then all of a sudden I saw him, I was like, "Oh, okay."
yeah. I was
It's not
like,
so
oh, he's there. But how did they get there? Like, where's their car?
Yeah, maybe neither one of them have a car. Yeah, I didn't understand. I thought the same thing. There was a lot
Yeah,
of car issues
it
when
was.
they did the couples retreat.
There was. I mean, all the stars were aligned for producers for this couple's retreat. Everything. And then Mecca starts with the negative self-talk because that's what he knows. He was like, all these motherfuckers have to be honest with themselves. Nikki's like, who? Who's the motherfucker? He's like, me. I'm an idiot. And Bella's like, stop calling yourself an idiot. And this is the life I don't want for her. You are
Yeah.
not the fixer. You are not the mommy. And it's just, if he wants to call himself an idiot, let him.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
it's always he always turns it. Like he should be
Mhm.
apologizing to her for his bad behavior, and he always flips it so that she is like coddling and soothing him and making him feel better when like the whole situation is because of what he did. And that's what like always annoys me cuz I'm like, why is she always soothing him?
Yeah. And I don't, it's not the same because maybe they have a stronger foundation. And when we get to them, that is my concern for Michelle with Cameron, actually. She's always soothing him, but no one seems to see it as something negative. And I'm like, am I a hater? But, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, we'll get to it later, but also
okay.
her wanting to like leave her job. I was like, "Oh god."
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I like you more, but I'm like, ooh, money's good too. Um, so,
Breadwinner.
so
Like, oh, she's the breadwinner.
Yes. Nikki says the same thing. We're not going to do the negative self talk here, but he continues. He's like, the filter is non existent. I'm just saying and doing whatever at the expense of other individuals. And I'm like, okay, great. Just apply it in the moment. Like, just be, maybe it comes harder for you, but just tell yourself, give yourself a self talk. Like, I'm going to watch what I say before I do it. I don't, beating yourself up is not a plan, you
No,
know?
and it's just like, do some actions and stop doing you know what I mean? Like, let's stop
Mm-hmm.
whining about it and actually make some change.
Yeah, some steps towards that. Adam is driving back with his shirt unbuttoned. I just wanted everyone to know that. I just like
You talk every detail, I love
I
it.
do. um we get a security cam again, and you know what that means. Sean is back home because Sean and Nikki, that's the footage we get with them. It's the security cam, and thank God for the security cam with those two. He comes home with food, and Nikki's like, "Oh, you brought a plate for me." And Nikki seems happy, and I say seems because they're another couple. I don't know. Are we putting on an act? Are we really happy, or we just playing house? I don't know.
Yeah, also, like, he didn't bring the paper plate from the airport, like, did he, like, make a pit stop somewhere? I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, did he stop by his house? Because I'm like, did he go through the airport with the plate? Like that's so. I hate carry-ons and hand luggage and all that. I would check anything in any time. So to have that, that seems like an inconvenience to me.
Yeah.
Like, put it in a Ziploc or something. They kiss, and she's like, "Oh, I even drank Earl Grey tea to stay up for you." And I'm like, okay, that's cute, but is it real? I don't know.
Same. I think the same thing because, I remember I would always, like, be in bed, you know, like,
Yeah.
before David came home, so I was like, "Oh, I definitely don't wanna have a conversation," you know what I mean? Like, that was, like, my thoughts. I'm like, "Okay, she stayed up." Like, I'm always like,
Yeah.
"She's putting in the effort, maybe she likes him." And then, like, 2 seconds, I'm like, "Oh, they hate each other."
Yeah, because it doesn't last. And again, I will say this again. I hate when people on math say I'm trying, but I do think Nikki is the definition of trying on maths. So she gets a
Agree,
pass. Yeah, she gets a
agree.
pass.
I'm always, like, in awe. I'm like, "Okay, yep, she's doing it."
Whew, I'm sure she's glad decision day is here. But let's go into wait, we'll take a quick break and then we'll talk about Belle and Mecca over here. All right. Belle and Mecca, they're talking about the retreat, and Belle is like, it was a bad weekend overall. I'm like, I would agree with that, sweetie. Mecca says, like, a large part for her is probably thinking that she shouldn't have to be put in those situations. I'm like, again, Mecca, you have the right read on everything. The problem is what you're doing with this read, which is nothing.
Yep,
Instead, he's just adding to the list of things. And instead of Belle to say, "Yep, you're absolutely right. I don't want to be put in this situation," she's like, "Yeah, I shouldn't have to, but it's happening for a reason. It's helping me learn more about myself and to figure out how to respond and react in those situations." No, no. You don't have to suffer to
yeah.
find love.
Well,
this
and
way.
she's always like, you know, like, "My opinion about you hasn't changed." But I'm like, "It has to have. It
It
has
has
to
to.
have," you know? And, like, but again, she's just trying to, like, coddle him, it always feels like, soothe
Yeah.
him, like, "It's no big deal, like, don't self-sabotage, like, I'm fine. My opinion of you hasn't changed." I'm like, "It has, though," because even in her interviews, she says, you know, like,
Yeah.
"Can I get over this? Like, will this always be what I'm thinking about?"
I want to give her grace because again, I always have to keep reminding myself they're in their 20s.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that, and I was dumb in my 20s, and it's that head versus heart thing. Like she knows the right thing, she absolutely does, and that's what's happening in the confessional. But it's also that what if I am the one that can fix him? And it's like at that age, you don't realize that no, you are not the one. You shouldn't even want. Don't volunteer as tribute.
Yeah,
No.
and she's just like a 10 out of 10, like,
Yeah.
gorgeous face, amazing body, like, brains, like,
Yeah.
she is personable, so it's like it just, like, kills me every time that you see her kind of, like, dimming her light, like, you know, like, I like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah.
And, like,
And then
him not seeing her worth, like,
yeah.
that's
Yeah. It has to be confusing because he probably like also she's attracted to him. He fits the aesthetic that she's looking for. I'm
mhm.
guessing the sex is good because she was complaining about not getting peen that night. So all of that together is just like
And
again. Oh, go ahead.
sorry, and I think when it's just them one-on-one, he
Yeah.
is very into her, like, her birthday,
Yes.
like, he showed up, but then it's like they get in these group settings and he acts up, and that's when it's 'cause I haven't seen him do anything like when they were one-on-one, it's always in these group settings that
Yeah.
he kind of, like, pulls these stunts and, like, makes her question things.
Yeah. And it's a big part because they're not going to be in a bubble. They're gonna interact with people. He's gonna be with, around the guys, and he has to learn how to deal with that.
Yeah,
But he says that she's right, that she shouldn't have to put up with this, and it's all damage that he's created. And he has been beating himself up about it all day. And it's crazy to me that even he realizes that she shouldn't have to put up with it. She hasn't said that out loud. Eventually she does, but at this point she hasn't. And I feel for him because I've talked about this in previous episode. It's learned behavior for him. It's all that he knows, and he's just a self-fulfilling prophecy, and he just keeps doing the same things over and over. But like we said earlier, he needs to stop and realize and start fixing it.
yeah.
This whole time, guys, they're holding hands. We're out here fighting Belgelese battles, and they're holding hands. They're fine. The sunset is out. It's so gorgeous. And he's like, I know I'm a deeply flawed individual, and I'm coming into this, my goal was to not let any of that show. I'm like, huh? Like you were gonna give a false representation of who you were, or you were gonna hide who you were? What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
You can only hide who you are for so long. It just doesn't work. So he says his energy was off and he was cocky, but it's not who he is. And it was at this moment, Michelle, I was thinking, like, do the experts feel like a distant memory to you? Because I'm like, we had experts this season, right?
Yeah, yeah, I literally was like, "Huh, where are they?" And, like, I'm jumping the gun here, but it doesn't look like they're gonna be a part of decision days either, which
Yes.
is wild.
Yes. Because I mean, we should have got the hint when Paul was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to see some of y'all again until God knows when," because we didn't even know at the time they weren't going to be at decision day.
Right, yeah.
So I think now is the time they need experts. But again, what do I know?
Same, I would think there'd be one more
Yeah.
individual, like, couple session with each one before going into decision day to kinda talk about everything because, like, the couples
Yes.
retreat is always chaotic, so it felt
Yes.
like there should just be one more, like, couple
Yeah.
therapy session
Even if
before.
it's a group session.
Yeah, and even, like, talking, like, how's everyone feel going into decision day? Like, what is everyone thinking? Like, what's holding you up? Like, just questions like that to get them, like, thinking about the big decision that's ahead.
That's what I thought. But again, they're like, who cares about love?
Right.
Drama.
Look,
So he tells her that his answer is still going to be yes, because he knows he wants to be with her and he knows how to treat her and to be respectful. I don't remember which of my guests said this, but they do think that he's going to do all this and he's going to say no. He wants her to say yes,
Yes.
And he'll be like, "Yeah, I don't deserve you. No, I can't do this to you."
Legit, I wrote in my notes. I was like, I have such a bad feeling that he's gonna do a bait
Ugh,
and switch where he is gonna be like, I'm a yes, I'm an absolute yes. There's not a doubt in my mind that I'm a yes. And then she is gonna be kind of doubting herself and she's gonna say yes, knowing he's gonna say yes. And then he's gonna be like, it's a no for me. And I'm gonna be livid. I mean, I'm gonna be happy because I don't want them together, but
yeah.
it's just gonna break her because she's been so ride or die for him. And it'll make me sad for her.
I feel like that would be so cruel. Oh, that would be so cruel. Especially he's been reiterating, like, "I'm still a yes. I'm gonna say yes," and you're giving
He's,
her
like,
hope.
convincing her, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
"I really like you, like, this stuff is nothing, like, I'm a yes, like, my feelings about you haven't changed," and I just feel like he'll be a no.
Oh no.
Um,
Okay. He says like what like he's done some things to get her to say no, and if she does say no, like he'll be understanding of that. And at this moment, guys, the sunset, the lighting, I don't know what it is, hit her just right. Beljolie has amazing skin. Just wanted to point that out. Like it's great.
gorgeous.
Should have taken a selfie at that moment. Um, she has an on the fly interview and she says, I know it's not my job to heal him. And I'm like, thank God. But then she says, but I feel like if he's loved correctly, like a part of her wants her to stay in it because she feels like she can contribute to him being a better person. So she's weighing it out. I don't know. He's like,
Not gonna change him, it's gonna be
it's not-
sad.
everybody else gets like a final date type thing, and I don't know, they don't seem to get a final date, but they're at home, and Mecca tells Beljolie that it looks like Michelle and Cam are the only ones on the Yes Island. And she's like, well, I think Adam and Marissa are on the Yes Island, Tori and Felipe on the Yes Island, and her and Mecca are swimming around the Yes
But again,
Island.
that's just him, like, fishing for her to be like, "I'm gonna be a yes," like, that's what it felt like to me, just him trying to be like, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna
Yeah.
say?"
So can you remind me, are you guys oh no, you didn't have that experience. I was gonna say, are they encouraged to talk about
I didn't make it to decision day.
I was gonna find if they're encouraged to talk about it. I know I've asked before, but I think it varies for different people, and I don't know what the rules are now because everything's different. But she says, you like to think that you know who I am, so you tell me what you think I'm thinking. And I think he was pretty accurate. He's just like, I really like this guy, I'm attracted to him. And I'm like, dude, stop saying that because that's already like sensitive topic for you guys. So stop reiterating that she's attracted to you. We know that. Don't say it, out loud. And she's like, but he's done some things, so I'm not sure if I want to. And he was pretty accurate about what she's thinking. But he asked her, what can I do for you for it to be a yes? And she's like, well, I'm thinking about respecting myself and my self value. Words that Michelle said, the exact same words that are ringing in her head. But she is thinking of the positive as well. And he says, I have fallen in love with who you are as a person and the way that you care and nurture. And I'm like, it's not manipulative, but I didn't like the use of falling in love with
He
her.
gives her just, like, these little nuggets to keep her hanging on, and, like, like, cause she likes him a lot, you know what I mean? So he drops these little nuggets just to, like, get her to keep going on.
Yeah, it's like breadcrumbing her. Like,
Yeah.
ugh, yeah. And that he adores her. And she says, like, that he loves the things about her. This is a confessional, but those things are her. And maybe he doesn't want to say that he's in love with her. And I'm like, oh, that was her interpretation. Is that he's in love with her? No.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, I was like, "Oh, goodness." But, like, yeah, like, she wants him to be into her so bad because she
Yeah.
feels so strongly for him, and it's just very apparent that, again, he's just giving her little breadcrumbs, and then
Yeah.
it's
And
not gonna be enough.
I don't blame her. I mean, a lot of the times I do say, like, maybe try it out without the cameras and maybe they're not going to be in group settings and see how it is. But in this case, I don't know, just run. Like, he has a lot to fix
Yeah,
before all that happens. Before I round out with their section, I did love the white sweater dress that she was wearing in this scene because I was just looking at
yeah.
it. Okay, I know you mentioned earlier, but just to reiterate, your prediction for them is what?
I think she'll say yes, he'll say no.
You don't think she'll say no at all? You think for sure she'll say yes?
I think she's gonna say yeah.
Oy, oy, oy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
But just I love when she got petty at the couple's retreat, and she was like, "Well, I didn't want a guy with nails." I'm like, "Yes, Belle, yes." This is the first time you heard anything bad about I'm like, "Oh my god, there she is."
And she held herself back because she wanted to say more.
Yes. Like, it was so petty, and I loved every minute of it.
It's about time. Um, okay, let's go to Nikki and Sean. They go out for dinner, and who picks the places for you guys when there's like dinner and stuff? How does that work?
Yeah, this always drives me nuts. The producers pick everything. They plan everything, like, they do everything, but then you're kinda supposed to be like, "Oh, thanks so much for planning this date." It's like, "No, they did not plan that." We could give suggestions, or we could give suggestions, like, "Oh,
Yeah,
like, I like this sushi place, I like this," but it was you don't plan anything because
mostly.
you have to get, like, the restaurant's, like, approval for camp you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you just don't plan anything.
Okay, that makes sense. So all the praises that Sean got for the what was it, chocolate and wine thing, it
Yeah.
wasn't his idea.
Maybe it was his idea, but he didn't plan it.
Planned it. Okay. Okay. He didn't find it. Okay. So they go out to dinner and is bringing him up to speed about what happened in couples retreat to refresh everyone's memory. Sean had to leave for his mom's birthday party. So she was just saying they were talking about how the men can be very disrespectful and then talks about, she shared about the ranking where he said she's a 7 in New York and a 10 in Seattle, which I had Clara as a guest last episode, and I said, should she have brought that up with him not being there? Because I just thought that was
Yeah.
purposeful.
Well, I'm shocked she didn't shut that down immediately because I feel like she usually stands up for herself right away, so I was shocked that she hadn't brought it up sooner.
Mm-hmm. She said, then she tells him it stung, and it felt like that was the first time she was telling him about it, like you said. And when he said it, and Sean is like, wait, wait, wait. Before I made the comment, do you remember grabbing my belly fat and saying, look at you? You guys, I laughed. And not because of belly fat or anything. It's because this couple drives me nuts. I don't know what is true. I don't know what is real. Like they play too much. I don't know who's titting or tatting because it's always tit for tat with these two. And then he says that he said something about we are both not all that. I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't change anything. Like the sentiment still
Like
stands.
yeah, and I also think Nikki was when she was explaining it to the girls at the couples retreat, she was like, "And he said he was a 10." And I'm like, "Did he really say that?" Like, it's just, like, so absurd. It's so absurd. And then when she brings it up, obviously it's like, "Well, I did that because you made fun of me." Like, it is the tit for tat thing every
Yeah.
time for them, like, which they should just be like, "You know what? You're right. I did say that. It was wrong. Move it along."
I mean, she's like, I don't remember that. And I'm like, okay, who's lying? Like, that's a very explicit situation that was
Right.
brought up. And we have seen her say, I didn't expect to get a dad bod without the kids or whatever she said, the dad part or something. So they are always passive
And she did
aggressive.
short shame him, I think, at one point too.
No, that part, if it was the dinner party, I do think she was misunderstood. She was saying, I'm 5'6", and everyone was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like,
Over and over, I'm like, "Oh god."
yeah, but I was saying like I don't think he changed the sentiment that he was still trying to humble her, which is like a pattern for him. This is not the first time that he's doing this. He's always trying to like humble her ever since she said, I don't find you physically attractive. He's like, oh, okay, bet. So he could have just said, I didn't appreciate the comment without saying something hurtful. But also, we watched this man blatantly lie about what he said about wifely duties, and if there was no camera, we would never know.
Yeah, very, very true. I think he just thinks very highly of himself and doesn't take
I mean,
criticism.
good for him. Everyone needs self confidence or delusion,
Right.
whichever.
He thinks very highly of himself, so I just, like, don't think he takes criticism very well at all, and so then he kinda has to, like, do the low blows to her, to
Yeah.
bring her back down to, like, what he thinks is reality.
Yeah. He says he was hurt and that's why he said it. And I'm like, grow up.
Yeah.
He apologizes because that's what he does. And she says, thank you for the apology, and says, I apologize for insulting you. So all I wanted to say was, oh, you remember now? Or are we
You
just
did make the belly comment.
these people are nuts. Like, I can't with them. So then she says, in corporate speak, we shall endeavor to fight fairly and fight kindly. Ugh, this sounds like the things you buy at Home Goods. the signs like live, love, life, or whatever it is. Fight fairly, fight kindly. Um, Confessional Sean comes out. For those who don't know, Confessional Sean is very sassy. That's where he says what he really feels. Like his tone changes, his like demeanor changes, and he just seems like he hates her. And I will stand till the very end that he's her ops. And he's the one who truly doesn't like Nikki. And he's like, I can see when she's truly herself, when she's in her soft person and it's loving and endearing, but can he see that long enough and consistently enough to get to a yes? I don't know. And it's so funny because that's the same thing she says about him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they put two peas in a pod, but they don't even recognize it. They don't like what they see of each other, but they're practically almost the same people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
They're very interesting to me.
she says she doesn't hold anything against him. Like, they're good. But Sean has a look on his face. And for those of you who watched the Michael Jordan documentary, that was his, and I took that personally face, meaning like his lick back, one serving of lick back coming up soon. So he's not going to forget about that.
I think they'll be nasty at the retreat or at sorry, at the
The
reunion.
reunion. Oof,
Yeah.
we'll see. Well, something is going on, like, because on his social media, he's now posting her. And I'm wondering if they were so, like, if they hated each other or whatever, would he still post her? Like, would she be like, don't post me, like, leave me alone? Or is Sean just that delusional? Like, it's my picture. I can do whatever I want
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, or, I didn't see the episodes myself until they dropped, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
do you watch it back like, "Oh, shit," like, that
Yeah.
was me, It's like you have a perception of things, and then you actually
Yeah.
see, like, "Oh, it does appear to be different than I recall."
Okay. Yeah, that's true. And he took down the apology after wifely duties. Yes, I think when wifely duties happened, he apologized, but then he took it down. So I can't tell
Yeah.
with these two. He asked her if she's made a decision, and she's like, "No, I haven't." I'm like, "How is that possible? It's the night before
Yeah, she knows.
for the rest of your life. Like,
Yeah,
please."
she's
And
made
then
a decision.
going to pray on it. Sean's like, wait, what? I've never heard you say that before in all the 6 weeks we've been together. And I'm like, they don't know each other. Yeah,
Yeah,
just call it. Like, let's stop.
yeah.
Stop it.
They both know they're saying no.
That's crazy. Okay, so then it's moving out day. Like, before decision day, one person is moving out the apartment. She's packing up her wedding dress, and he asks her what it feels like to pack up her dress. And she says what it feels like, but that's not enough for Dr. Best. Instead, use a feeling word. I would be so mad. And she actually answers him and is giving like oh, I feel like, and it goes into a long speech. And I know this man did not be like, you don't have to give a speech with his stupid laugh. And I just thought that was so rude.
Yeah. Well, she's spot on. It's not ever casual conversations with him. Like they just like they are very corporate. The conversations don't flow. He does do a lot of like therapy talk. It just
Yes.
never just feels like organic,
Yes.
natural conversation.
Yes.
I wouldn't even know this. I'd be like, how do I feel? Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just so odd.
And that's not, if I said it before that for someone who's so well educated, he doesn't know how to say stuff. Because say use a feeling word, you could easily just say, no, but how do you feel? Like, do you feel any, but to say a feeling word, like, am I five? Like, are you like, don't dad me. I guess that's the word. So it's like he's preaching at someone. So then he's like, I feel like you're frustrated. Duh.
Yeah, no shit. Like,
And then he's like, "Why are you frustrated?" I'm like, "Really, dude? Like, are you just like poking the bear again, like you wanted with Adam?" And confessional Sean comes up again, and he's like, "Ugh, okay, girl, you ain't got to tell a long story." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the guy that hates her, but that's not what he's doing when he's talking to her." He says that he can tell that to his friends, and it doesn't become a fight. And I'm like, Dr. Best, because you've known your friends for years, okay? It's not that hard to tell why. She's saying like the communication I want from my husband is to be kind, empathetic, don't cut me off. And he's like, lower your tone, don't yell at me. I'm like, is the yelling in the building with us?
I thought the same, I'm like, I don't think she's yelling.
Oh, they're infuriating. Like,
And then what does he say? He's like, "Let's," he always has to make sure, like, he looks really good because he's like,
mhm.
"Okay, let's use what we've been taught now." And I'm like, "Oh gosh," like, I would just like, "Get out of here." Like, if I was her, like, I would have been so annoyed.
Yes. He was like, how do we get out of this? Let's use the tools. Let's
Yes.
talk it out. And then we validate. And I'm like, I don't fight in bullet points and subheaders and whatever. Let me fight. I want fighting words and I want to cuss you out.
You know how I'm feeling? Pissed.
That's a feeling word, right?
Yeah, I'm pissed. Oh,
They do their thing again, then they do, I apologize that you felt that way. And I apologize too. And I'm just like, thank God this passive aggressive conversation is over. I'm over it because they're not fun to watch. And I really wish they could have made them leave early.
yeah.
Would you rather watch Nikki and Sean or Courtney and Nick?
Ooh, probably Courtney and Nick. I know. Well, I feel like they gave, like, me more to, like, talk about. Like, I never like, we knew what was going on there, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like Nikki and Sean, I'm like, I change my mind about them every episode, like, every time they're on the screen. So I'm like, "What? What?"
They're keeping things exciting, keeping us on our toes. What is it going to
I
be?
love Nikki's outfits, so that's the
Yes,
only reason I like to keep her around. I
it
love
is.
those outfits.
My answer is Nikki and Sean. Nothing will ever make Courtenay be the answer. Courtenay is never the answer. So
Aw.
I was so glad when they left. Like the vibe, imagine them at the retreat, at the couples retreat. Oh, that would have
Yeah.
been way chaotic. So Nikki says she did not imagine their last night to be like this. I don't know why she did not imagine this is how it's been all season long. So this is par for course. They don't even kiss goodbye. They give each other a hug, and that was it for them. Thank God. So, what's your prediction?
They'll both be no.
I'm telling you, you remember we don't know ever what we think about them. Watch these two say, I think there's something there. We have core values, community and family.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Okay, Marissa and Adam. I have a question about these two. Why do these two always have so much food and food related things like pots and appliances and stuff always in their kitchen area? All the
Yeah,
time.
was that, like, to show that they've been so sick they can't clean? Like, I was like, "What was that?" The same like, when they panned, like, how gross the part was, I'm like, "My gosh."
The last time, when was it? When they were talking about, I can't remember, when he had the tag on, they had like all these food and open things and chips and stuff just all around. I'm like, oh, this must be a thing for them. So then I'm like shocked that they're napping. I was like, oh, I thought he hated naps. But then I found out, like you said, they were both sick. And apparently he took a rapid test and he has the flu and he has COVID at the same time. And somehow he infused a jet ski reference on there. Talking about how he feels like he was being dragged underwater by a jet ski. And I'm like, how the times have changed. Like someone testing positive for COVID and the camera seems to be there. It didn't look like a cell phone
Well,
thing.
that's, like, have a couple days gone by? Like, I was thinking the same thing, I'm like, "Are the crew in N95?" I'm like, "What?" I thought the exact I'm like,
Yeah.
"Huh, interesting."
Yeah. I mean, they moved them to the balcony, like
Yeah.
out there, and I was like, "Oh, it seemed like they're far away." And then afterwards, they were up close. I mean, they could have zoomed, but I don't
She
know.
looked good for being sick, like, I mean, she was done up, she looked good.
Maybe she wasn't. Remember, she says like it's nice to slow down. So I'll take one for the team.
Yeah.
Well, she did say it's nice being sick together because they can slow down, and I hope Marissa knows that he's not going to be sick forever. So let's find a long term
Yeah.
solution for this. But he did make her soup, make her tea, and she likes that he's zoning in and being genuine. And it's not a side that he shows to everyone. He brings up decision day and says, you know, he knows that they talked about her moving in with him, but he also knows that it's a big move. He says if it were him, he wouldn't move if he lived 5 minutes away from work because commuting is the worst ever. He's not lying. I hate commuting so much. But I couldn't tell if it was being supportive or trying to like deter her from moving into his place.
Yeah, I took that as him being supportive, like, 'cause he was
Okay.
like, "Yeah, I would, like, look at a place with you that, like, we can compromise on," and then he did throw in, like, "And then you could come to the gym with me."
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did take it as, like, him, like, initiating a big conversation, like, "Okay, decision day's coming up." I think they clearly have both talked about saying yes because 'cause they're
Mhm.
planning to move in together, and then him being like, it wasn't just automatic, like, "So you're still coming to move into my house,
Yeah.
right?" I was like, "Wow," like, I think there's some growth here, like, I was impressed.
I was too. I thought the conversation was gonna go left because she was the one who was like, maybe we should get a new place. And I was thinking he was gonna be like, I mean, why? We have a perfectly good place right now. Why would we do this? But then
Live under a tarp, what one wouldn't be to like?
and the disco ball that's broken. Hey. But he says they could join a new gym, they could do workouts, and somehow this conversation was so long it became nighttime. And it was dark outside.
I didn't even notice that.
It did feel to me that this is a conversation that they previously had, and they're just doing it again for the
For the camp,
cameras. Yeah.
yeah.
She asked like, "Oh wow, are we late on compromise?" And he's like, "No, it's gonna take some time for us to see if it's gonna work for us." And I'm like, "Is that you? Really?"
Also, they didn't get a lot of screen time this whole episode, like, the last couple episodes, actually.
And when you don't get screen time, you're classified like a golden couple, maybe silver.
Right.
Golden's a lot, but maybe silver.
I'm like,
I'll
"Oh, they're
say.
doing good. They're not on
Yeah,
the TV."
yeah. She says she's a hopeless romantic, and at this point, she's hoping for a miracle. I'm like, wait, why? Do you think it's hopeless? What do you mean? Like, why are you hoping for a miracle? But that's it for them. I mean, I think it was surprising. I've always said that I don't think they're like a 0% for me. I just think they think differently. And if he can realize what compromise means, he's not there yet. I mean, the fact that he's willing to live somewhere and they'll have like their lake house where his house is, they could make it work, and maybe she could get away with not working out. I don't know. But there's hope there, right?
Yeah, I think there's definitely hope there, like, obviously, they're both really into each other,
Mhm.
they both wanna work on it, and so, yeah, my predictions, they're yes.
Okay. And they're the perfect example of if you give people what they're attracted to, they will build on that.
Yeah, because you don't see a lot of like, deep conversations with them, but I do think they like each other, so I think that will continue to grow, or they show up at their reunion not together, and we get a whole new story.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I mean, for all the things about Adam, I don't know. Yes, he has. He has disrespected Marissa. I was gonna say he's never done it, but he did it twice when they did the painting thing, and he painted her so ugly and then put cooked. And when they went thrift shopping, and he was like, maybe you can get a push up bra to fix whatever that situation is going. That was disrespectful. So we'll see. All right, on to your namesake, Saint Michelle and Saint Cameron. Um, they have their final date, and it's all nice and sweet. He's like, he's never felt secure, and he's never felt that a woman has had his back. And I'm like, I hope none of your exes are watching this because maybe they thought otherwise. So before he sits at the restaurant, there is a wrapped gift on the seat, and it's like, oh my God, there's a gift here. Surprise. How did it get here?
Producers did it.
Not the producers. We don't see them. But it's a
That's awful.
it's a framed wedding picture. So original. Never seen it in all 20 seasons.
Aw.
And he says he had worries about his freedom. And if they say yes, then that will be challenging. I'm like, what? That's what no one wants to talk about with these two. But so now he's saying it. I'm surprised they kept that in, but I don't know. Did you have any thoughts about when he said that?
Well, did he go into that sometimes he gets depressed? Is that did was that a couple episodes ago? Like, he, like, touched on it a little bit. Now I might be adding, but I feel like he, like, touched on, like, he gets down, and so sometimes I was like,
Sads. He
yeah,
said,
okay,
yes,
sad,
yes,
okay.
yes,
I'm like,
yeah.
he said
Mhm.
something in a
Yes.
episode a few ago, but then I was thinking, like, is that what he means? Like, are these the challenges of, like, her always having to pick him up? Like, I didn't know what he meant, and also, to me, it feels like the producers also asked them the same question over and over, like, Cam's never been in a relationship. Are you worried? Cam, you've never been in a relationship. Should you be worried? And I think he gets in his head about that stuff. Or like, you've never committed before. Can you commit? Like it just feels like that's kind of their storyline because they don't have like a lot. And so that I wonder if like that's what he means. Like these are the challenges we're gonna have.
Yeah.
Can I don't know.
I actually think that they do have challenges. They're just choosing not to get into it. Because even with the experts, they're choosing not to, get with that. Because I think what they could work on is when he says, everything's perfect now, and I want it to stay this way forever, which is not realistic. So it's like, how are we going to handle the hurdles, especially since every now and then I just, I feel down, and things like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. He
Like
never specified.
they're living situations. Like they don't live. I mean, I don't know. Is it 3 hours Portland, Seattle? I'm not sure what it was. But even that, it's like, what does that look like? It sounds like she has a very good job, like makes a decent amount of money. We know he makes less than her. So it's like now she's like uprooting her, like she owned a home in Seattle, like I mean,
Mhm.
she has roots in Seattle. So it's like, she kind of felt like she was not throwing that away, but just like if like the independent one was like, "Oh my god, you're giving that all away to go for a guy? Sick." So,
She's considering it
yeah,
because she likes him.
yeah, exactly, yeah. It makes me a little nervous, and then,
Yeah.
we don't hear him also I think we did in a few episodes in the past, being like I think it's just harder for him to get a coaching job is what it sounds like, but, he kinda was it wasn't like he was like, "Yeah, like, I could also move," or "I could commute," it's or we live in halfway, I don't know, but
Yeah. I mean, I think he said it like it's unpredictable, which goes back to Sean's point of like, and not in a bad way, because I think what Sean said was kind of misunderstood, but it is fact in a factual level, it's not stable. His job is not one where you plant roots, it's 9 to 5, and you're gonna be here. It's more like wherever they call me, wherever is available, that's where I'm gonna be. And like I've told previous people, I don't know if you knew, but he has a job in California now. He's a assistant coach now for a team. I forget. I think maybe Bay Area, but yeah. He's in California. I don't know if she moved to, but we'll find out, I guess, in the reunion. But he posted it on his social media. So
interesting. See, I don't even know sports, so is that like do like coaches is that like they switch locations quite a bit, it sounds like,
yeah,
or
I think for him, I think he just kind of moves, and because it was a community college at first, so now I think it's a state college, which is like a promotion. Guys, don't quote me because I know you guys would tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. I didn't have it in front of me, but yes, but it's in a different state. So I
yeah,
don't know if she's moved. I don't know if they're doing long distance, but that is the stability Sean was talking about. And to your point, we saw her aunt. She has family there. She has a house. She had a roommate. That poor guy. Am I moving out? Am I not? Tell me because I like my house right now. How much
yeah.
is my rent going to be? So,
Sean had another rant about them too, about Michelle, you'll know more.
giving up.
Yeah, or like that she wants to be loved so much, or I forget what he had,
Yeah.
but he had another rant about them too. I mean, it's like there must be so much in the group therapy sessions that we don't see because like where did he get that from?
I think because honestly, even based on what they've just shown us, because her ask when she started was she wanted someone who made more than her. They
Yeah,
didn't give her that, and she was like, you know what, that's fine. He has more positives. Then she wanted someone, to his point, that was stable. And she's like, he has someone who doesn't live there and he doesn't know where the next job is going to take him. And she's like, that's fine. We can, work it out. So to your point, maybe there's more, but those two are the ones that stick out. I don't know how much they know about him feeling down every now and then. And I think he mentioned sometimes, did he say he didn't feel good enough or that she's great? Something like that. But there's a lot they share.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
On there. So she said what she's most nervous about is the distance. And she says they knew they were gonna have it tough till the job thing was figured out. And I'm like, what job thing? They didn't go into detail because they don't want to ruin, not the facade, but the golden couple. And he's like, oh, but you like your job though. And I'm like, wait, she wants to quit? And she's like, I like you more. And I'm like, huh. Last I checked, this was 2025. The job market is not easy, but I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know.
even we have never heard her say, or I don't remember her being like, "I don't like my job. I want to quit my job." And then all of a sudden, it was like, "Well, I've always been wanting to quit my job lately."
Hmm.
So, it kind of just felt like the narrative was changing to kind of
Yep,
go with what he wants, you know?
which is
And
what
maybe
Sean
he was
was saying.
interviewing for the Bay Area job, and, you know, like
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking like, I hope you're not still at the same workplace because now that it's aired, they realize you said I've been looking to find another
right.
job. Awkward. Very awkward. 5% of her is nervous about him feeling trapped. These are words that he said that we've never addressed, like how are you feeling? Or losing his freedom. But he should communicate if he ever feels that. I will say, I mean, to be objective, he has said like meeting her has, changed his way of thinking. He does worry about it, but I mean, what is he gonna do? The feelings of positivity that he feels around her, I think, supersedes those feelings, So, I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to work it out. He says he's an overthinker, but he's not freaked out. And she says, like, you're my ride or die. And he says, I feel the same. And she starts to tear up. I'm mentioning this because I was a guest in another podcast where someone asked a question like, do you think Michelle laughs too much and cries too much? And I was like, oh, yeah, she laughs a lot. And I was like, but crying? Nah, no, she doesn't. And as soon as I got off and I turned it on, she was crying every single time. And I was like, I was so wrong. So she starts crying here, and so does he. Although I don't see tears from him, but he was tearing up, I guess. And they tell each other that they're incredible. And she starts wondering in a confessional if she should say, I love you first, because he's never been in a serious relationship. So maybe he's not going to know when to say it. But she thinks he's going to say yes, and she has found the one for her.
Yeah, I was shocked that they haven't said, "I love you" yet. I don't know why.
I think because of Cam, I'm not shocked. Like, I think he made a wait, what is the one? Not a 180, 360. He didn't end up in the same place, whichever 180, I think. And but we can't forget it's still 5 weeks, right? He
Yeah.
came in like, oh, scared of commitment, scared of all the things. So he still has some hurdles to go through. Like, he's great and he doesn't disrespect her. He really likes her. He's doing all the things, but there's still some things that I think he'll be gun shy to just say I love you. That would probably make him so overwhelmed and
Yeah.
spiral. But if she said it first, I do think he'll say it back.
Me too,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she'll say it back. Okay. Predictions? Yes, yes, I guess.
He'll be yes, well,
Well, in the previews, right? Didn't we see him say it's a fake out, right?
I was like, "That is just them trying to get us like, oh no." Yeah, 3 yeses for sure.
Okay. All right. Tori and Felipe. This is our last couple because two couples are down. He is meeting up with his family, specifically his mom and a friend called Nana. I will tell you guys, like, I'm watching, I'm taking notes, and I saw Nana and the mom, and I just thought it was his grandma. I looked up, I'm like, whoa, grandma is hot. And I'm like, no, Tam, like, it's
Me
his
too, 'cause I
friend.
only got the back of her head. I was like, "No, no." I was like, "Oh, it's his grandma." I was like, "Oh my god, she's young."
Yes. So yeah, because I mean, when I first met his mom, I was like, his mom is a baddie too. So I was like, oh, it runs in the family. But it's a friend of his called Nana. So he shares that he's not quite certain what his answer will be yet, and this is why I don't believe Felipe a lot of the times. He's been telling us he's committed since the day he met her. But the thing with Felipe, because words mean things, he always says for now. He never fails to say that.
Well, and he's only committed when he's pressed by the experts or by Tori. You know, like when they get into group settings, he doesn't feel so committed. I just feel like he is only committed when he's pressed a little bit.
And then his back's in the corner.
Mhm.
He says that she's incredible, but it's not perfect. But he can't be his true self around her, and he always gets in trouble around her. And I'm like, finish your sentence. It's not complete. Like, say why you get in
About
trouble.
wanting to sleep with women, yeah, I'd be upset too.
Like you said it multiple times to a lot of people at the table. He says I'm not perfect, but for the rest of my life, I'm going to say stupid shit. One, that's a wild thing to just accept about yourself without doing any work. And his friend saying, "We know, ha ha ha." It's not cute. Stop it. You
Yeah.
know, don't encourage him to do that. The friend says,
We
"Oh."
don't know what he's referring to, so we'll that's why I'm like, I'll give her Nana a little bit of grace because she doesn't know what he's referring to, but yeah, I'll be like, "Mm."
But if my guy friend asked me that, I would be like, okay, what exactly did you say? Because the thing about it is, like, I'm your friend, right? How I relate to you, it's not the same. I don't have to go home with you. I don't have to share a life with you. But as a romantic partner, what did you say to your wife? Why are you getting in trouble? Then I'll give context to that. But I don't know, maybe I'm too serious too. I don't know. So the friend says, when she first met him, she thought he was mean, but now they know him and they know that he doesn't mean any harm. And I'm like, so she has experience even as a friend that he's mean, so you should say, you've only known each other 5 weeks, you should, give her time. I mean, she says maybe it'll take Tori some time, but you can't make the same jokes with your friends with your wife, I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
He says, like, people always tell me, I'm like, Paul said that he won't find someone like her again. And he doesn't know what would be better, his single life or marriage with Tori. His mom is like, me and dad, we love her. I
Yeah.
don't know what you're talking about, but I think she's good for you. But I also know that it has to be a decision, which I appreciate,
That's
give or
cool.
take. People at the end of the day have to feel like they made their decision. So whatever the consequences, they have to deal with that.
Yeah. And I was glad the mom said that because I kinda thought she was gonna be, because sometimes he's like a mama's boy, you know what I mean? And so I thought,
Sometimes, all
yeah,
the
I thought
time.
for sure she was gonna, like, coddle him during
Hmm.
that time. I was glad she was like, "I really like Tori, there's nothing wrong with Tori, like, we fully support Tori." So I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, yeah. So then we see Tori talking to her sister again about the big fight and saying that, but I don't think you should end something because it's hard, because it's all going to be hard at some point. And I understand what she's saying, but it's not usually a good reason to stay in something that's making you unhappy. It's just, deciding the level. And I get it. It's probably tough in this situation. There's so much going on. There's so much pressure. You're going out of your mind. So
Yes, I do, yeah, yeah. She's she, like, I'm shocked that she's still, like, into
in
him so
this,
much.
yeah. It is. I think the perception everyone has of Tori is not jiving with what she's doing now. Because at some point, a few episodes back, I was like, is she a Marissa? Is she just going along with a lot of things and going against what she would normally would not stand for? But then we know, but then she does things like, yeah, I'm not standing up for you. Go figure it out by yourself. And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so she does tell her that she feels like this could be her husband forever. And you could tell her sister is not a fan. Like, body language is very strong, but she says, I'll support you, whatever you choose.
Right. The sister was out the second she found out he wants to sleep with other women. She's like, "It's a
Yep.
no."
Yep. He told you your truth. And then that with the cheating, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
In a confessional, Tori says that she feels like they're stronger after the retreat, and the fighting has shown them that they can work through hard things. No, Tori, that's not.
And he's someone, again, like, he takes feedback well, but he just never, like, the same with, like, Mecca, where it's like, "Okay, you've said it now. When are you changing? Like, when is the actual change happening?"
Yep. When is it going to happen? So Felipe says one of the highlights was their wedding day. So, wedding album. Yay, surprise. What? And she seemed excited about it. I'm like, it's not his idea. Like, we're not
Quit
giving him
giving these
props.
men credit.
Yes, we're not giving him props for this. Like, this man barely knew what to do when your car was down or walking your dog, and you think he thought about this? No.
Yes, or even I think he also says coming up, he was like, "It's so nice she brings me breakfast in bed at 11 a.m." I'm like, "He's sleeping till 11 a.m. and she's
Yes.
bringing breakfast?" Like, what
Yes.
does Tori get out of this? Like, that's
Yes.
what I just don't know. Like, I don't understand.
Yep. Yeah, she has put up with a lot actually. I'm so
Yeah,
excited for the reunion. I hope they do it right. But he says it's so special seeing where their love started, and like, are you in love now? Like, I don't know, or he's just talking. He tells her like he can sense himself falling for her and that she completes him and he feels very lucky. It's all words to me. I mean, I guess Tori is believing it, but it's hard for me to believe stuff that Felipe says.
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So it's time to move out. and he says his fear of commitment is in overdrive and he is trying to fight back. I'm like, the day before decision day? Got it. But they are the first for decision day, and this is how we find out that we're just meeting at a location and there's not going to be anybody. And I'm like, okay, another change. You guys, baby steps, guys. It's too much. So they do that thing they do where, you guys, I don't know, is it the voiceover? My journey was, wait, you didn't do that, did you?
No, I didn't make it to decision day,
I
so
keep saying that, I keep forgetting.
no.
But the part where they do the summary of their journey, the things they like, the peaks and the valleys and all that. So they get there and he says that he's conflicted. He knows for a fact he wants to be with her right now. And right
Now,
now is
like,
never.
Paul gave him that, like, saying, you know what I mean? Like, that one therapy session, Paul's like, "But what right now," and now
Yes.
he's just continually using that.
Yep. Yep. So he says like he's not sure if he's the man that she deserves. And they he says, I
He's
don't know.
right, right?
He's not wrong. They get there, he gives her flowers, he tells her she looks beautiful, and then he starts like this weird speech and is like, I don't know how many 100% decisions you've made in your life. I've probably made zero. I'm like, you're supposed to be selling yourself, but I think to some extent, like, every single part is a leap of faith. um Things that I could think I want in a woman and my wife and my partner, you have that in spades. The way you embrace my family, I don't have words for the way you take care of people, what you were saying earlier. And something that I love about you is that I wake up at Tori at 11, you bring me, and he's cursing. I mean, I don't mind cursing, but for something serious like this, why are you fucking bring me breakfast and you've been fucking doing shit for hours? Like, be serious, like, and he's like, which is just stupid. How is it stupid her bringing you breakfast? Like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be reminding her why she should say yes, but you are just reminding her why she should say no. All of
Right.
these things
And
that
she
you're
walked up pissed, you know
she
what I
did.
mean? Like, you could tell. She's like,
Yes.
I'm here," you know? I was
Yes.
like, "Ooh, what's happening?"
They didn't want to give us a clue because even when she was in the house, they didn't want to say anything. And then she came up and was like pissed. And he's like, you're incredible. She, like you said, she looked mad, but she's like, I don't know what to say. And then a confessional, she says, I'm so confused. Can we count how many times she said that in a confessional? Something happened. She'd be like, I'm so confused. And she's like, after moving out, they had a conversation she did not anticipate. And he dropped a bomb on her. It wasn't filmed, but she wasn't having it. She has so many emotions, but primarily it is hurt and it seems cruel. It seems heartless. And she's like, I really liked with the D, you, but I think it's important to be honest. Felipe is like, I like without the D, you. I'm like, dude, she's mad at you already. Stop. And it was like, she says, do you think what you told me, do you think that was normal? I'm like, guys, the anticipation is killing me. What is it? He says he regrets that heavily. And that's how we ended. So, Michelle, what is your best guess on what he said? And then I'll share what I think it is.
Okay. My guess is that it's probably not as juicy as we want it to be. I think he is going to be like, we should both say yes on decision day, but then like date for a little bit and see if we actually should like keep going on. Like that's what I think. Like I don't think it's going to be as like juicy as we think.
Okay, that makes sense. Mine now seems outlandish.
Well, we have to hear it now.
For an open marriage, like the best
Yeah,
way, like if I can sleep with people and you get me and I promise I'll be committed to you at least day by day for now, would
yeah.
you be open to that?
But I feel like it's gonna be like, let's just say yes here, and then let's date a little bit, so I can make sure I have all my singleness out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it probably is kind of alluding to like maybe I need to like hook up a couple more times with people and then come back to you and like make a decision for real. But in front of the cameras, we should just both say yes.
that makes sense. Especially since she said it was cruel and it was heartless.
Yeah.
So, but what do you think decision day is going to be?
I think he's a yes, she's a no.
Okay.
What do you think?
I honestly, with Decision day, I never have a prediction because these people are just crazy, and I never know what the intentions are, especially with this cast where I feel like it's to be an influencer. I know everyone wants to look good. I am inclined to think that he would say yes, and it's
Yeah.
like, hey, I did say yes, but her, definitely a no.
Yeah.
Definitely a no from her, but him, I don't know who it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it for the episode, guys. I liked that they left us on a cliffhanger because it's like this was great to start this way and to see, how it's gonna be. But before we wrap up, who gets your bouquet for this episode?
I'm giving it to Adam. I thought we saw growth from him this
Oh,
episode with, initiating the living conversation, being willing to compromise and move to
yeah.
somewhere that she would like to live as well. So I'm giving it to Adam.
Okay. I mean, I can see that. Guys, I hate everybody this episode. I give it to nobody. Like I thought so hard about it, and I was just no, I cannot give it to anyone. Everybody get it together. Get it together, please.
It's always an option, Tane.
My bad. Okay. Who do you give your ashes to?
I'm giving them to Mecca because I feel like he gives her the runaround. I feel like he kind of like makes her like again. I just think he's trying to make her say yes and
Hmm.
like not doubt the relationship. And I think he's gonna burn her in the end.
Oh,
So
please. I really hope that doesn't happen. So unfair. My ashes go to Felipe and whatever the hell he said off camera, and the have the audacity to come on there and say, "I really want you. I really like you. You're the best." And you said something the night before. You're insane. So, yeah, that was it. So that was fun. Thank you for coming on. And can you
thanks for
share with
having
can,
me.
can you share with people where they can find you and they can spend money on your links?
Yes, please. No, you can find me at MD Tomlin on all socials.
Okay. Guys, you know where to find me. Tain Talks all over social media of your choice. And please give me a 5-star rating, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes next week. It'll be Decision Day and the reunion. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Pain Talks.
This episode is brought to you by Vinted. Have you looked inside your closet lately? Because I did last weekend. I was trying to reorganize for the upcoming season, and I found this entire section of clothes that I keep saying I'll wear, but honestly, I never do and probably never will. My closet was totally cluttered, and I did not like that. This is where Vinted comes in. Vinted is a secondhand marketplace app that makes it easy for everyday sellers, people like you and me, to sell pre-loved fashion and earn some extra money. For me, the clutter was just overwhelming, but Vinted makes it so easy. The process on the Vinted app is incredibly straightforward, and decluttering just feels so much better. With Vinted, there are absolutely no selling fees. Because there are no selling fees, you actually get to keep 100% of the money you earn from your sales. See what's hiding in your closet. You might be surprised how much you can earn with Vinted. Download the Vinted app for free to start listing with no seller fees.